Here's some advice for new artists and for anyone else who's struggling. How to make starting to draw a whole lot easier. Well, first off, why do you want to start drawing? Wait, let me rephrase that. You probably don't want to start drawing. You want to be really good at drawing, to just pick up a pen and grab some paper and effortlessly draw anything perfectly, beautifully, dazzling your friends and confounding your enemies. You want to be the next Leonardo da Vinci, don't you? You want to knock out portraits that are indistinguishable from photographs. You want to replace your vacation snapshots with breathtaking watercolors, to have gallerists and collectors and reviewers clamoring outside the doors of your sun-swept Tuscan studio. And you have to start somewhere. But deep down, you fear that you'll never get to be great. It'll be too hard. You'll just give up. And instead of pride, you'll be besieged by self-recrimination. Your dust-covered sketchbook will be just one more reminder of your failed attempts to achieve your dreams. It doesn't have to be that way. Seriously, here's how I know. I've been helping people to start drawing for ages, but more importantly, I've helped myself to start drawing. And by teaching myself, I've learned a few things that could help you to get past those first few challenging steps. So this video isn't really about drawing techniques. It's more about how to incorporate drawing into your life, how to keep yourself motivated, and how to learn to learn. Let's start with this. How to accurately measure your progress. So many beginning artists are so focused on the horizon, so focused that they trip over their own feet and they fall flat. They start out by focusing on the end result of learning, that perfect drawing, so much so that they then despair when each line they make fails to achieve that goal. What they're overlooking are all of the individual steps that they're already making toward that far-off goal, the small but crucial improvements that they're making every day. I know this because it happened to me too. Early on, I'd flip through the first handful of pages in my sketchbook and they all sucked. I sucked, and I'd never get any better. But if I'd been paying attention, been willing to be objective instead of brutally critical, I would have noticed how much actual progress I'd been making, that my lines were a little bit more confident, that I'd had the guts to tackle some complicated new subjects that I'd never drawn before, that I was starting to see how to really see. And when I look back at my early sketchbooks now, I can see that even after just a month or two, I was getting better and better. But at the time, all I could think was, I will never get there. Why? Well, because instead of comparing me with me, I was comparing me with Leonardo da Vinci, or with my friend, the professional illustrator, or with all of the artists who'd inspired me to want to start to draw. And that first bar was just way too high. I just started to jog around the block and I was beating myself up for not running a marathon in under 3 hours. You've got to recognize that your judgment of your own progress isn't really accurate. I guarantee you you're doing better than you think you are because, again, your perspective is distorted by this dream that you have of where you want to get to. And because you feel like an imposter who's pretending to be an artist but can't actually even draw a stick figure. So you got to stop obsessing over how far you still have to travel and check out the ground that you've already covered. Spend less time on self-criticism and more on your next drawing. Okay, next, how to draw like a natural. Don't skip ahead. Keep working on the basics. Draw simple objects. Draw your lunch. Draw a shoe. Just stick to using one black pen. Don't plunge into photorealistic portraiture or three-point perspective or advanced watercoloring techniques. Develop your confidence in the basic building blocks of drawing. Lines, angles, measurements. And if you can't quite capture what you're seeing yet, write down your observations. Draw an arrow to the drawing that explains how the shadow looks. Point out the highlight. record what you're learning. Just the act of writing information down helps your memory to retain it. Then look for other examples of what you've observed. The more actively you engage, the more the lessons become second nature. And that's really where you want to be able to draw without having to think, to intuitively translate what you see into lines on the page. But be realistic about what you can achieve right now. It's like learning to walk, to tie your shoe, to throw a ball, to drive a car. It takes lots of repetition to build the neural connections that make a new skill feel natural. Next, let's discuss how to motivate yourself. Of course, you need to practice, but if you don't want to practice, you won't. It's crucial to stay motivated. One way is to set yourself small goals that you know you can achieve. For instance, do one drawing every day. Even if it's just for 2 minutes, pick up that pen. Or commit to filling an entire sketchbook in the next month. And then celebrate by buying yourself a new art tool. I spent a year drawing with one type of black pen, a year. And then I allowed myself one gray brush marker. And a month later, I added a second gray. And I slowly worked my way up to a bag full of colored markers over a year. And then the next year, I bought myself a cheap watercolor set. And the year after that, a really good watercolor set, and so on. Try focusing on a single daily subject for a month. Pick a subject that you find interesting. Don't try to make an art statement out of it. It's just a theme to practice variations on. I drew my teacup every single morning. I drew a selfie every single day. The view out my kitchen window, the cars on my block, a photo from the front page of the newspaper, a dog every day. I get a sense of accomplishment when I see how much I'm drawing, not just how well I'm drawing, whatever that means. Whenever you complete a sketchbook, spend some time with it. Look back at each page. Study what you did, how your work has changed. Get out your phone and make a video as you flip through the pages. Share it online with friends who you can trust. Their support and encouragement will help to keep you going. 3 facts to write in the inside cover of your sketchbook. 1, never compare yourself to other artists. Don't compare your first drawing to their reproduction in a coffee table book. Let their progress inspire, but not intimidate you. Compare you to you. That's all that counts. 2, you're making more progress than you think. You may not see it, but it's happening with every page, guaranteed. 3, everyone struggles at the beginning. Check out early Van Gogh drawings. They're awful. Struggle is normal. It's inevitable. It's a positive sign that you're working through things. Your early drawings are 0 indication of what you will achieve in time. 0. Look, I hope all this helps, and I hope you remember you can do this. If you need more motivation to make art, sign up for my weekly essay. And if you'd like more help to develop your drawing, drop by sketchbookskool.com. There's even a class that's called How to Draw Without Talent. And that'll get anyone on the way to drawing anything.